Welcome to my channel, a space where I share everyday stories filled with inspiration, offering you valuable lessons for your work, your life, and even the most unexpected situations. Today, I want to invite you to follow a story that may seem simple at first, but actually carries a powerful lesson about creativity, persuasion, and the impact of real-world experience. The title of the story is Break It, Then Sell It. Sounds a little strange, right? But trust me, this story will completely change the way you think about selling and convincing others, not just with words, but through action. If you're in business, struggling to persuade others, or simply looking for a fresh dose of inspiration to kickstart your day, then this video is just for you. Make sure to watch until the end, because I'll be sharing a lesson that many successful people have truly embraced, and I believe you'll find it just as valuable. Now, I won't keep you waiting any longer. Let's get started. In a small city in Texas, inside a company called Safeview Glass that specialized in manufacturing and distributing tempered glass, the atmosphere in the monthly meeting room was heavier than ever. Rick Dalton, the tough CEO, with a sharp stare and a voice like steel, slammed a report folder on the table and scanned the room with an icy glare. He couldn't believe how disastrous the previous quarter's sales had been. "If this is how we perform, we might as well sell the whole damn company next month," Rick barked. The employees, mostly young, sat in silence, heads down. A few timidly tried to explain that they had ramped up marketing, handed out flyers, and ran social media ads, but none of it had worked. Rick just waved them off with disdain. "If I were the customer, I wouldn't buy your product either. You daydream about your paycheck while forgetting you've got to actually sell something first," he said, before storming out, leaving behind sighs and disappointed stares. In the corner of the room, a young man named Andy, barely 3 months into the job, quietly jotted something down in his notebook. No one paid him any attention. No one expected much from a newbie with only a technical school diploma. But in Andy's mind, a bold idea was starting to take shape. Andy wasn't good at pitching. He didn't know how to run digital ads. But he had something not everyone at the company did: a sharp eye and a sense for real-life insight. One day, while taking his mother to a mall, they witnessed a minor accident. A woman slipped when a supposedly shatterproof glass door suddenly broke. People nearby murmured. Some cursed the company for selling junk glass. Others claimed the ads were all lies. But Andy didn't blame the product. He just realized something else. People didn't trust advertising because they'd never seen the truth with their own eyes. So Andy did what no one at the company had done before. He took a sample of the tempered glass and a rubber mallet and started going store to store. He didn't give sales pitches or try to persuade anyone with words. He simply set the glass on a rack and invited shop owners to give it a hit. When they tapped it lightly, nothing happened. When they hit harder, the glass shattered, not into dangerous shards, but into small, popcorn-like pieces. No injuries, no danger. Then Andy would explain, "This is what tempered glass is supposed to do. High durability, and if it breaks, it's still safe." Customers, long used to empty marketing talk, were suddenly hooked by something they could see and feel themselves. Word spread quickly about the guy with the hammer, and Andy's orders started to skyrocket. 3 months later, during the next quarterly meeting, the entire room was stunned when Rick announced that Andy alone had generated half of the department's total sales. Rick praised Andy in front of everyone, and even rewarded the whole team with a trip to Hawaii for their outstanding results. When asked what his sales secret was, Andy just smiled and said, "I just let the customers try smashing it themselves." Everyone laughed, thinking he was joking. But when Andy brought out the glass and the hammer to demonstrate, they finally got it. He really had let customers experience the product firsthand. No ads, no fluff, no long speeches. Just truth and trust, born from experience. Some coworkers quickly copied Andy's method, taking hammers and glass to their own pitches. But they couldn't match his results. Curious and a bit envious, they asked if he had another secret. Andy just smiled and replied, "This time, instead of me doing the smashing, I handed the hammer to the customer." They didn't just see it, they felt it. It stopped being the company's product. It became their experience. The room went quiet. An older colleague who had once dismissed Andy for his background quietly apologized. "I was wrong to judge you based on your diploma. Now I see. It's not education or theory that drives results. It's creativity and real-world action." Andy nodded, not taking it personally. To him, what mattered most was helping the company grow and earning customers' trust. From then on, the sales department stopped being a place of jealousy and burnout. Everyone learned to value truth and experience above all else. The story of the guy with the hammer slowly became a legend at Safeview. It was retold again and again as a textbook example of how action sells better than words. Not everyone has a degree, but anyone can succeed if they know how to listen, observe, and act at the right time. And from that day on, whenever a new hire joined the company, they'd be told the story of Andy, the one who smashed and sold, not with tricks, but with honesty and trust. So, the story of Break and Sell has come to an end. A journey that seemed simple, but left behind many deep reflections. From a young man who was looked down upon for his low academic qualifications and proved that success does not come from the diplomas hanging on the wall, but from keen observation, practical action, and most importantly, sincerity. He didn't just sell a product, he sold trust. And that trust came from real experience, from allowing customers to verify the quality with their own hands rather than just hearing a sales pitch. The lesson here is very clear. If you want to convince others, don't just talk, show them. And sometimes, it's the small, genuine actions that create results far greater than hundreds of promises or presentations. If you're in business or simply trying to build trust with others, remember, don't hesitate to prove yourself through actions, and never judge anyone solely by their appearance or qualifications. I hope today's story has brought you a fresh perspective and inspired your own journey. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share it with your friends, leave your thoughts on this story in the comments, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the next interesting stories. Thank you for listening until the end. See you in the next video. Have a wonderful day.